Hey, welcome to ONversation around key principle for OurNet number 3, which is augmented locality. ONversations are where we talk about things that are important to us here at OurNet, and within the context of us recruiting our technical team. We're looking for 3 people, aren't we, Michael? I don't know if this might be a good point to mention those roles again. This is to be based in Portugal at our new Aveiro office, our exciting new Aveiro office, which is happening any minute now. Hence us being in this process of sat in a car in the middle of the Portuguese countryside, talking to Facebook Live via a Vodafone dongle. Incredible technology, amazing time to be alive. These 3 people, what are they? What are the roles?
So the first is a Scrum Master, who will initially take control of the team, and we'll start before the others and will be involved in recruiting the other 2 people. And it needs someone who is excited by what we're doing, who is technologically very, very competent, but also looking to make a difference in the world. The second person is a programmer. The details of that elude me because I'm not from a programming background myself, but we want someone who is capable of developing the software we have at the moment and sort of creating, extending and creating more software to provide the environment we need. And the third person is a programmer stroke user interface designer that will help us create a really enticing site that engages people, becomes completely addictive for all the right reasons.
Glad you said that. And this is an OurNet ONversation conversation that's looking at the third of our 3 key principles. Actually, I didn't say who we were. This is Michael Brodie, CEO and founder of OurNet. I'm Carl Munson, town crier and community builder. 3 key principles at OurNet. Number 1, we are the virtual village with an emphasis on community, building on what has been what we might call the I-centric, egocentric development of social media. We think there's a lot of work to do around connecting people and community, as much as there's been a lot of work about individuals aggrandizing themselves and how they come across in social media. The second principle, which we've covered as well on a separate film, is peer refinement and how we create trust within that community and empower and support communities to work more effectively together for a world that works. The third here that we're addressing is augmented locality, which addresses really the strange and ironic thing about the internet and modern communication, which there are so many ways to be in touch now, yet loneliness is on the rise. Burgeoning was a word I used. Burgeoning.
Love the word.
Yes. So what are we doing at OurNet to address that?
So OurNet is designed as a platform to hold your whole community. And our community these days comprises of our locality to some degree, because there are lots of things which are locality based. You need to go to local shops. You need to, you need to use local services. You've got local authorities or local government people you need to make contact with. But also there are groups you might want to join happening locally that you get in contact, or you could start your own groups in a locality by making contact with people online who have interests which match yours, and OurNet will provide a graduated way of making contact with people and getting closer and closer until creating real, live meetings as opposed to just virtual meetings. And the other aspect of our community are our interest groups, which could be saving the planet, for example, which tends to be much more widely spread. So we may make contact with people outside of our physical locality, but is actually within our locality of interest. So OurNet will provide a way, some multifaceted, multi-leveled way of making contact with people that have lives which overlap with either your life as it is or your life as you'd like it to be.
And it really is a strange thing, a glaring omission, you might say, that social media, such as we know it at the moment, unites us more with people beyond our everyday life than within our everyday life.
Yes.
Something's happened in this process of human evolution, globalization, urbanization, the corporate world, the industrial revolution. That this process that takes into account all those factors seems to have made us less connected locally.
Yes.
And more connected on an abstract level.
Yes.
And we want to address that. And that's why I call it a glaring omission. It's so weird, isn't it, that two people living next door to each other could have the same interest but barely know they exist.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
That each other exists.
But you have to look at what social media developed for. And fundamentally, it was developed by technocrats initially. It was then taken over by financiers. And the fundamental purpose of and in fact, it's the number one thing people say about any social media company is net worth, and how wealthy the founders were.
Yeah, and the data.
And the data. Yeah.
How much is the data?
So that is the purpose of them. So for them to carry out their job properly and pay the shareholders, which is what it's fundamentally all about. They have to sell stuff to you, which is going to give you the illusion of making you happy, but actually not really making you happy. Because what it takes to make you happy really is having a community of people you get on with, rather than having a bigger widescreen television and having holidays stuff.
Yeah, the virtual village. Your place in what we're calling the virtual village. And I think, I'd like to say at this point that I understand why people have got cynical about it. And, with Cambridge Analytica Gate, people just wanted to dump their Facebook, didn't they?
Yep.
And in a way that's understandable, but it kind of throws the baby out with the bathwater, because some amazing things. I mean, everybody, I think, when they stop for a moment and consider it, can see that Facebook has probably brought them some amazing gifts.
Of course, yes.
It's just taken an unusual path, isn't it? And an understandable and predictable one. So I would urge people to think again, maybe, about the power that the internet has to unite people.
Yes.
And appeal to some of our more noble and fulfilling urges as human beings.
Yes.
Even though the more immediate ones got put first, didn't they, in this process? Because it's all still very young, isn't it?
Oh, God, yeah.
Social media is the toddler of the internet, which is really still a teenager for most everyday people. Yeah. So, hang on in there, folks. We can create an amazing community network. Using the incredible power of the internet, arguably the most amazing invention, and new inventions coming within that invention of blockchain and cryptocurrency. We don't really know, do we yet, what the internet can do for us? And it's taken this rather unfortunate turn, it would seem, but I still think that wonderful potential is there. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, if you compare it to the Industrial Revolution, initially it was hell. People were taken off the land where they were surviving, but in relatively decent circumstances, shoved into massive, great big cities, sort of trained to go into factories to work in hellish conditions. Children were sent to school to teach them to be subservient and obedient, and out of that grew the most amazing technologies, which have given us so much freedom from survival that actually there is no need for the vast majority of us to work most of the time. I mean, there is, because our society set it up so that we financially need it. But actually, in terms of the numbers of people who actually build something, grow food, or I don't know, what else is there?
What important stuff?
Important stuff.
I think you've nailed it there.
Yeah.
Food and shelter.
Food and shelter.
Yes.
It's a tiny proportion of the population do that. The vast majority of other people are doing things like selling life insurance policies, sort of hanging around in shops waiting for customers to pounce on, etc., working for taxation departments, working for banks, working.
They would rather be somewhere else. Let's face it.
Almost everyone would rather be somewhere else.
Yes.
When you look at them, when you look in their eyes, when people are serving you, you can actually see a certain sort of deadness and, oh God, I wish I was somewhere else.
Yes.
and people's favourite comment is, "What are you doing at the weekend?"
Yes.
And then at the weekend is, "Oh God, it'll be Monday soon."
Yes.
Not a way to live life, I think.
We can evolve beyond that.
Yeah.
We've strayed a little bit away from augmented reality, but
Sorry,
I think
Carl.
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I think that gives you a context from which we are operating and hoping to evolve from. If you're a technical person who is inspired and excited, moved by what we're saying, do get in touch. This is not an ordinary position for any of those tech people. This is an exciting and extraordinary opportunity. Do get in touch with us. Say hello in the comments or get in touch with us. All the w's.ournet.news. It would be great to hear from you. Bye for now.